Hi, I'm Brigit, founder of Biddy Tarot, the online learning community for people who love to read tarot and who want to connect with their intuition on a daily basis. Now, I'm here today with the monthly tarot forecast for July 2017. Now, I'm going to do things a little bit differently this time around. I usually use the Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot deck, but because I have so many other beautiful decks, I'd love to start featuring them in these forecasts. So today's forecast is going to feature our the Fountain Tarot, and this is a gorgeous deck. It's kind of watercolors. It's got quite a sort of in-depth feeling to it, and you'll notice that in this month's reading. Now, as always, the cards that I draw for this month are designed to help you make the most of the month ahead. We'll look at the blessings, the challenges, and your actions that you can take in order to make the most out of the upcoming month. Okay, so let's get into the cards. Now, the blessing for this month is the Five of Cups. Now, if you know this card, you might be like, how on earth is that a blessing? Because this card often talks to feelings of loss, sorrow, grief, or having to leave something behind with that feeling of regret. And we can see it in this card. We've got the man here and he's standing, he's looking at these cups that have been overturned, and yet there are two upstanding cups behind him. And he's actually got quite an ethereal feel about him right there, doesn't he? Now, this card as a blessing is a sign that even though some things might not be working exactly as you want them to, there are still opportunities available to you. And if instead of focusing on what's not working, you actually start to focus on what is working, you may find that you have a few more blessings than you realize. So if you're feeling kind of a state of despair, of loss, as if something hasn't gone the way that you had hoped, or maybe that you're having to leave something behind, make a change in your life, something is going through this metaphorical death so that new elements can come through. Instead of being in that sort of in the space of loss, see if you can experiment in the space of accepting what new things are coming to you this month. Now, the challenges for this month are represented by the Hermit Card. Take a look at this one. Again, quite a dark, heavy energy with this card. And what I see in this card is this feeling of isolation and being alone and having to find your own way. And in this card, we see the hermit here, and he has his lantern and he's shining it so that he knows which way to go. It's kind of like, looks like a dark and stormy night. He's in the forest here and it looks almost like snow. And he's using his lantern to find his way, but it still feels like that heavy darkness. So again, if you're feeling that state of, not so much despair, but, as if things aren't quite going your way, you might sort of have that feeling of getting a little bit stuck in the heaviness of it all. And you might wonder, like, how am I going to find my way through this? Again, the positive aspect to this is he does have his lantern, and I often see this in my own life where sometimes you can only see a few steps ahead of you. Maybe you know that something is coming to you, and maybe something positive, maybe something else, and yet you can only see the next few steps in front of you. And that's okay. That's all that needs to be revealed to you at this time. So you may feel a little bit challenged by that. You might be like, how do I get myself out of this, this hole? Or how do I get myself out of these negative feelings? But really what the universe is saying to you is to be okay with that, knowing that you've only, what are your next steps that you need to take. You don't need to know the whole path ahead. All you need to do is just put one foot in front of the other and you'll see what is coming up for you next. So that's the important thing with the hermit. And also remember to take that time out as you need it, but not to get bogged down in isolation and aloneness. All right, so the third card has just fallen on the floor, so bear with me. And this is our opportunities, or our actions for the month of July, and it is the Fool card. Now, after all of that heavy, dark energy of, the Five of Cups and the Hermit, we have such a beautiful light and free card here with the Fool. And so the action or the advice for this month is to lighten up. So, when stuff happens that you're not you're not really loving, you have that choice. You can get really stuck in the doldrums and get upset about it. Or you can say, look, this is the way it is. So I'm going to choose my feelings and I'm going to choose lightness and, new experiences. I think the neat message here is that you are going through a transition in July. And again, you can either look to your past and say, oh, heaviness, I'm having to give up things, or I'm losing something. Or you can look to that future element and go, wow, there's all these new opportunities opening up to me. And remember, with the Fool, it's very much about that new beginning. The Fool is the 0 card. It's kind of like not even the birth, but the conception, just the seeding of something new happening. So stay in that energy to really make the most of your month ahead. And one more thing, this is like a young boy here. He's having fun. He's got swift action. So how can you stay in that childlike feeling where you are leaping and bounding and experiencing new things rather than sort of more of that heavy energy that we're seeing in these cards as well. So there you have it. That is the monthly tarot forecast for July. Might be a bit of a heavy month, but I'd say keep really focused on the energy of the Fool and stay in that lightness and openness to all experiences. So I hope you have a great month and I shall see you again very soon. Bye for now.